Hey everyone at Shark Tank, my name is Andrew Arbogast and I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I'm 37 years old and I started a cheese dip business last year in the middle of the pandemic and it blew up. Before I got to this point, I graduated college in 2007 and from there I did ROTC. I commissioned into the Army as a aviation officer, and so I served 10 years as an Apache helicopter pilot and a commander, serving several tours in the Middle East. And in 2017, when I got out and transitioned to civilian life, I thought my next challenge was corporate America. So I left the Army and started at this company called International Paper, which is headquartered in my hometown, Memphis. And I joined the global sourcing team, learned all the ins and outs of negotiating and being a buyer and actually just being a civilian in the corporate setting. And it was good for a while, but then I started to realize that 4 years into it, I am not happy. I've always loved food and I love people and I love making people happy through food. And I thought, well, if I could figure out how to make my dad's cheese dip, take this from just a local thing to like a national household brand. And people thought I was crazy, right? So that's the way this always goes. You have this great idea, this grand idea, and you start talking about it and people are like, hey, maybe, don't quit your day job or whatever. But I didn't listen. At that point, it was August. I'd sold my first container in May at a local grocery store. We sold out 12 cases. And from there, I was getting asked from all stores in Memphis locally and even some regionally, hey, when can we carry your product? We've heard about it, it's amazing. And so I had to figure out, how was I going to sustain working my job at IP and then cooking every night for 6 hours while being a husband and a father to twin 6-year-olds, and we had a newborn on the way. So this, in my head, it was just spinning. But I found this co-packer time. So we got into 2 different warehouses through AWG, Associated Wholesale Grocers, out of Memphis and the Nashville divisions, covering 700 stores in 10 states. Then I had nationally known Cisco reach out. We partnered with them and I started selling through local convenience stores and even some restaurants. And at that point, that gave me the leverage and the opportunity to go and approach Kroger and these other big grocery stores and say, we've got a great product, we're local, we're veteran owned, can we sell at your store? And they said no. It took 6 months for me to convince them, and it was the persistence and the determination that I had that eventually they came back finally just this past month and said, we will give you 100 stores out of the Nashville and Memphis division covering 4 states for Kroger. And then we get a call from HEB in Texas and they say, we heard about your product. I mean, Texas is known for queso. They call us and they say, we heard about it, I shipped it. The next day they ordered 2 pallets. So I'm freaking out. At this point, I'm like, oh my God, how am I gonna manage this? I need money, I need the resource. So one of the most amazing pieces of getting into Kroger and HEB Central Market in Texas is the distribution. So we were able to partner with Gourmet Foods International and KE. These are the 2 highest quality distributors nationally. Once you get in with them, you're now a legitimate brand. You don't have to go cold call Costco, Publix, Myers, or any of those, Whole Foods, Fresh Market. They come to you because they see that you are a new product that has a high quality and strong reputation. And so once we got into those stores, they've come knocking, and I'm at the point where I'm telling them, hold off, let me focus on these current stores, and then we will reach out to you. All right, so we've done a lot of talking about Arbo's cheese dip, and the name, it's our last name. It's my dad's recipe, and I'm paying homage to him, and this is his, so I owe everything to him. And I want to show you the quality of what this cheese dip has. And if you notice, the boldness and the spices are very visible. And what we claim is that it's best enjoyed cold, because is you can dip it and eat it when it's still cold. Of course, you can warm it up and put it on tacos, nachos, baked potatoes, vegetables to get your kids to eat it. But if you notice, you can see everything here. And it's the mouth-watering spices and the boldness that make it different from the competition. It sets it apart. It's got a unique characteristic. I've been eating this stuff for 30 years, and I don't get sick of it. People are like, don't you ever get sick of eating your own cheese dip? I don't. I probably eat more of it than I should, but it's one of those things. It's just a comfort food for me, and just like cheese or queso is for other people, it's something that they know and love. They can bring to parties. They can use it in any environment, any circumstance. But the way I got to this point with Kroger and with the other grocery stores is, as a food retailer, you got to have at least 3 to 4 items, right? So I had to create 2 additional items. I spent 7 months at home trying to figure out, what am I going to do? How am I going to come up with a white cheese dip that I know nothing about? And I perfected it. If you notice, this cheese dip, just as the original yellow, you can dip it when cold, you can warm it up, put it on all of your favorite foods, and it's got this kick. They all have this signature Arbo's kick, right? That's what sets us apart too. It's not bland. You're not just opening a container of cheese that you buy from the grocery store and putting it on something. It doesn't need anything else other than a vessel to eat it with. So we covered the white queso blanco for all the white cheese dip lovers, but we also brought the original up another notch. We made this spicy version, and it's got this smoky finish and this heat that kind of hits you on the tip of your tongue versus on the back, the after kick from the original. So we've taken care of every cheese dip, every queso lover's needs, and I truly think that's what's brought us to the next level. Now, our revenue. When I started in May of last year, we sold $97,000 worth of cheese dip. Year to date this year, well, I'll say total, from when we started May to where we are now, we're at $198,000 in revenue. 29,000 tubs of cheese dip sold regionally. And where we are going with Kroger, with H-E-B and Central Market, it's going to push us to $500,000 in revenue by the end of this year. And these are their numbers based on their queso projections, their volume projections. So I'm taking that to figure out, okay, what do I need in order to source raw materials, the containers, the ingredients up front, because these are costs that I'm going to have to take on immediately. In addition to that, if we want to be a national household brand, we have to have a legitimate marketing agency that's going to take us to that next level. I didn't realize how much marketing costs until I got into all of this, because I've, as you can see, tapped into a lot of the local PR and the more or less free marketing that we've gotten through our social media and local advertising agencies, and I think I'm running out of those. And so what I need to do is figure out, how can I expand this, not just from distribution, but getting the word out nationally. And I believe it's only a matter of time. So the name Arbo's Cheese Dip, the logo itself, and the slogan Cheese Fix Mafia have all been registered by the USPTO as of May of this year. We chose the slogan Cheese Fix Mafia to pay tribute to our hometown hip-hop group 3 6 Mafia, who have shown the world what the grit and grind mentality of Memphis, Tennessee is all about. I could think of no better name to slap on this logo than Cheese Fix Mafia, because I've had the entire city behind me, and they are part of the Cheese Fix Mafia. Before I get to my ask, I want to mention that we partnered with Folds of Honor this past year. Folds of Honor raises tuition money for the children and spouses of service members that made the ultimate sacrifice. I can't think of a better cause to support, and with every sale of Arbo's cheese dip, we donate a percentage of our proceeds back to this wonderful organization. And as of this year, we've raised enough money to support a full scholarship for a recipient of one of these service members' families. In closing, my ask is for $500,000 in exchange for 40% of Arbo's cheese dip. That money will be used to source ingredients, raw materials, and a robust marketing agency that is going to take Arbo's from regional to national. I appreciate your time. Go Sharks.